everyone, we've just come on here today to bring Jonathan through, and what the conversation is going to be about is we've decided that he would come through and perhaps tell us about the twin soul connection. So we're looking forward to hearing what he has to say. Obviously I just leave it up to Jonathan and step back as much as I can. So we welcome you all to watch. We know we haven't been on here for a while, but we had been planning to do things and other things kind of got in the way. So, we're ready to begin, are we?
Yeah, if you're ready to go into trance.
I'm just going to do a little prayer in my own mind before we begin.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoy it, and we hope you take something with you from it, you understand a little bit more about the twin soul connection. And also perhaps the soulmate connection. I shall leave it up to him and see where we go with that. All right.
Hello, Jonathan.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us today.
You are welcome, sir.
We wanted to bring you here today to ask you about twin souls. It's something I often hear you talk about, but I wondered if you could tell us in detail what are twin souls, what they mean to us, our spirit souls as well.
Yes, I will explain to the best of my ability. Well, I should say the twin souls are the mirror of one another. For instance, if you were going to look at it from an earthly point of view, and you met a person, but they looked different to you, yet you felt that it was the same person looking back at you, but only you. You see, it's like seeing you in the mirror, and their ways and their actions are of similarity. Their life pattern is of similarity. So you will have a deep soul connection with this person. But if you're looking at it from a spiritual point of view, for instance, the connection that I have with Elaine, that I am in heaven and she is on earth. So quite often, one of the souls will stay in spirit and the other will incarnate to earth. And they may end up working spiritually together, as we have here. And that goes for other twin souls that are going to work together spiritually. They have the greater depth of spiritual communication because they feel that they are at one with each other, you see. So they are two souls, but they are as one. So they can communicate without speaking. They can communicate mind to mind. Even if you're looking at it from the earthly way, they could connect mind to mind. So there is telepathy. There is telepathy with every person. You are able to take your consciousness far and wide and connect with someone over the other side of the world if you so wish. But it is usually done unconsciously because you are perhaps thinking about them. And all of a sudden they may call you or connect with you in some way on your computers. So consciousness far outweighs computer technology. Even if you were to build a robot and ask it to do everything that you asked it to do, it could not outweigh human consciousness. That is always going to be limitless. So the connection of the twin souls have a connection that is far and wide everywhere. It is eternal. And the love is beyond this world. You have unconditional love here, but in our world, such a strong spiritual connection is going to be felt between the two of you. It is nothing of an intimacy, it is of a spiritual relationship, connection. So it is easier to have that deep connection with the twin soul if you're going to be working with them like this. You haven't got any earthly connections. So you see, it's all spiritual when one is in that world and the other is in this. If you are coming together with an earthly connection, there are things that you perhaps may need to work through in your lives, but you will work through it together, in harmony. A lot of people will say, well, I have met my twin soul and they cannot face me. They have run away from me. Well, that isn't a twin soul connection. If you have a twin soul, you will have such a loving connection with them. The last thing you want to do is run away from them. You want to remain so close together and never be apart. In fact, it is, on earth, it is a very difficult situation because you want to spend all of your time together. So that is what I will say to you about that. But spiritually, when you meet each other, and one is in heaven and one is on earth, then you will usually end up working together like this, or with mediumship of any form, whether it be healing, clairvoyance, clairaudience, whatever it is. And it is a wonderful thing to experience, I must say. When you come back together in heaven, you will be so loving and so powerful that you will ascend together because you are as one. So once the human being connects with their twin soul, they are never going to feel the same way about life again. They will begin to understand love and empathy and spirituality. And as time goes by, they will become closer and closer. So the human connection lessens and the spiritual connection becomes stronger. If you're going to be looking at soulmates, as you call them on your earth, they are two people that have connected with each other almost like a twin soul connection, but not quite so much on a death. But they also will have had similar situations in their lifetimes. They will have similar likings, similar hobbies, I should think. But not all of those things will be of the same likes. They will have differences between them, of course. But there will still be that connection of a deep soul friendship and a loving relationship, whether it be intimate or whether it be friendly orientated or family orientated. It doesn't matter who it is with. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship with a soulmate. You could have a pet that is a soulmate. You could have a mother or father or brother or sister or cousin or aunt or uncle, etc. as a soulmate. You just have a deep soul connection with them in this lifetime, and you can easily communicate with them, and you feel a depth of love for them, and you find it hard to be apart from them. So it is of a great similarity on some levels of this soulmate relationship and this twin soul relationship. But with a twin soul relationship, it's not going to be about your friends, your family, and anything like that. It is the male and female aspect of the two souls, you see. So it is the yin and yang, the one. And there's never going to be anybody else that could replace that, you see, because most of your relationships you learn something from. And you have different forms of relationships in life that you learn something from. But when you reach the twin soul relationship, well, then you have found yourself. There is never going to be any opposite with that. But of course, Elaine has faults on this earth because she is learning through her lifetime in the physical sense of looking at it. Whereas I have no ego because I am in heaven. But I am sure that if I was on the earth, you know, I may have some negative ways. Every human being does. Name me one that doesn't. So this is the teaching that I should give you about these twin soul connections. If you get to meet them spiritually, it is wonderful. It will light up your whole being. You feel as if you have met yourself already. But there is still the meeting of the self within, of course. There are still things to look to emotionally. But I know that the Lady Lucy asked me if you were twin souls with her. No, you are soulmates. Yes. But it's what you call it, isn't it, on the earth, soulmates. But you're two deeply connected souls that can resonate with one another on some sort of level. And you care for each other, and you don't like to be apart. But you still also like to do your own thing. But when you are together, you are in harmony, most of the time. So you have a good, strong spiritual connection with one another. And the fact that you are the same star sign does help it a little bit more, I would say. But you could get one star sign that is the complete opposite to the same star sign, you see. They're not all going to be the same just because they share the same birth sign. They may have traits of their family members. So all of the souls are connected. We sometimes call them soul groups. But they all come here to help one another in some way. They help each other on their spiritual journey. But they do not look at it that way when they come to the earth. They just think of them as being family. So when we go back to that twin soul connection, I will say to you that it is the most, or one of the most powerful connections that you will have in life. And if you're going to meet them on this earth, well, you're never going to need anything else but each other. You will still love your family members, of course. You're not going to desert them. But it is such a powerful, spiritual, loving connection that is at such great depth that nothing can destroy it. Nothing. It is the most beautiful relationship that one could experience on a male and female way of looking at it. You will not get two females or two males that are twin souls, but they can be soulmates, you see. They can still connect with any person or animal that you come across in life. There's going to be some sort of connection with at least one of them, maybe more. So that is just a small explanation about it and about the soulmate connection. It's not just about relationships that are intimacy. It is all of your friends and family and pets. That is the difference between the soul connection, the soulmate connection rather, and the twin soul connection is just two people as one. Mind-to-mind connection, consciousness connection rather, that goes beyond this earth. And usually if they have that connection, they don't always understand it if they both meet on the earth. All they know is that there is something rather unusual and strange that they can't quite fathom. But if they are already spiritually orientated, then I do believe that they will know about the connection, but sometimes it can be a bit confusing as to how you feel, especially if you are already in a relationship. It can make things rather difficult, because you want to be with this other person that you are deeply connected with, yet you have a relationship and you have to hold back, so that can be very difficult. And I gather that, a few of you on this earth on occasion may have had to go through that, and it is not very easy. Or your twin soul may be several years older than you. It does happen that way sometimes, but it is still a wonderful connection. So I do hope that helps you.
If twin souls are on the earth at different times, would you say they often end up being each other's guides?
That is very, very possible, yes. That is quite possible. But as I am to Elaine, if they wanted to remain together and they had the pact to remain together and they were to learn something from it, then yes, they can be a spirit guide. Quite a few of them are coming forward to be spirit guides to one that incarnates, that is the twin soul.
Do we usually meet our twin soul far into our soul's journey or often early on?
I think that on a rare occasion you may meet them early on. But there is still a lot of learning to be done, isn't there, in childhood and early adulthood.
When twin souls have developed a relationship, if they're on the earth at the same time, would they often plan their lives to coincide?
Yes, they would. If they were meant to meet in this lifetime, they would certainly meet. And they would know that one was going to be around if they were near to them. It is all a consciousness connection between these two beings.
Can twin souls feel each other's feelings, even if they aren't connected yet?
Yes, they can. Very much so. And if they are near to each other, but not in the same room, it is very strong. It is a little bit like twins, isn't it? You have identical twins or even non-identical twins. They can communicate telepathically with one another, and they can feel each other's pain sometimes.
That would bring up another question. Twins often have very strong connections. Are twins on this earth often twin souls?
They aren't. They are two separate souls, but they are very deeply united, and they have chosen to come to the earth at the same time and have the same parents. So they may be on a similarity of journey, but sometimes in life they separate and go their different ways. Not always. Some twins like to remain together throughout their lives, but they are still two different people because they usually have different personalities, but they will always have this deep connection, consciousness connection, because they've grown in the same womb. They have come from spirit and arrived on the earth more or less at the same time. So they've grown inside that mother's womb. They've been together the whole 9 months. And they're growing up in life together. So I will say to you, yes, telepathy with twins, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jonathan. I haven't got any more questions.
Well, I have enjoyed being here for the time that I'm here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
I look forward to it.